Well, see how Nick Lodolo fares tonight. Boy, Lodolo really threw the ball well his last time out, and Barry might have been his best start of the year.
Yeah, he pitched well against Baltimore. He had six innings he pitched, and what I liked about it was only 2 walks, not a lot of strikeouts, but he certainly pitched well. And I thought the key to that game was him throwing strike 1. When he was ahead in the count, hitters were 1 for 14. So it's really important for him to pitch ahead in the count.
I mean, nobody knows that better than you. It's pretty good hitting if you can get ahead in the count early. So see if he can do that again today. Limited the walks. Looked like he might even go 7, possibly 8 innings before he got into trouble in the 6th. Well, the Reds did a good job against Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubs yesterday, shutting them out. 9th time the Cubs have been shut out this year. Crow Armstrong snapping his 9-game hitting streak back at the top of the order. Seiya Suzuki moves up to 2nd today with Alex Bregman behind him, Kelly Bush and Horner in the middle, and then it's Happ, Swanson and Amaya at the bottom. It's the Reds and Cubs. Hope you enjoy it. Let's play. Pete Crow Armstrong still on fire. I mean, he was hitting .452 over the hit streak. He was 14 for 31. Lodolo ready to go to work. 12th start of the year, looking for his 4th win. He's been good over the last 3, like we talked about in the open, and his first pitch on the way. And he's got a 0-1 count on Pete Crow Armstrong to begin the ball game. Not just a first pitch strike, but right over the inside corner, located down around the knees. Good place to start. And now he's 0-2 on Crow Armstrong.
You made a really good point, Tommy. I feel like that strike 1 wasn't just strike 1. It was strike 1, as you said, on the inside part of the plate, right? Already you're communicating amongst yourself. What does he have today? What is he throwing? Is he capable of landing that ball arm side? Or most pitchers pull it to the glove side, right? So if he can pitch on the inside part of the plate to lefties, he's already a problem.
Right.
But if he can throw that pitch inside, you got to respect it. So you can't lean out over the plate looking for that breaking pitch.
Left-handers have hit him well this year, and he punches out Pete Crow Armstrong to begin the ball game.
And another well-located fastball. This one was down and away. And you see the angle that Lodolo creates because he's so long. He's almost throwing that ball from second base. It's a tough assignment, lefty-lefty.
I remember hearing a left-handed hitter talk about facing Randy Johnson, and Lodolo, just kind of the arm slot that he throws from, reminds me a little bit of Randy.
Yes.
And I remember a left-handed hitter saying, it's like he's throwing the ball from behind you. That's a very uncomfortable spot to be in.
As I said, it looked like he's throwing that ball from second base. Yeah, that's a tough assignment, lefty-lefty.
Seiya Suzuki on 1 hop. Nice play, Stewart. And there's 2 down. Reds defense is presented by Tri-Health. It's Sal Stewart over there at the hot corner. And then that combination of De La Cruz and Arroyo up the middle just seems to be getting better and better the more they play together. And then Nathaniel Lowe over at first, Blade, Friedel, and Steer in the outfield. Steer probably back in a little more comfortable spot tonight out and right. Jose Trevino, the battery mate for Nick Lodolo on this night. And he falls behind Alex Bregman. Bregman 0 for 4 and punched out 3 times last night. It was tough sledding for everybody up and down that Cubs lineup against Hunter Green. Yeah, might stay in play. Low over. Doesn't have a play. Into that net.
Really, how good was Hunter Green last night? It was really good. First 2 pitches of the game, obviously hyped. 2 high pitches. After that, just focused, just really concise, precise with everything, just dominant.
He did what he wasn't able to do in his first start, and that was course correct. You know, because he started out with those first couple pitches, like you mentioned, looking kind of like he did throughout that first outing back. In the air to Steer. He's fading back, but he's got plenty of room on the track. And the Cubs are out in order quickly against Nick Lodolo in the first. It's a nice, tidy 9-pitch inning for Nick Lodolo. The Reds will take their swings against Javier Assad. Of course, Ellie back at the top again. He's getting rather comfortable up there. He's been swinging the bat well. Of course, all 3 of those guys at the top swung it well last night. Steer low, Suarez in the middle. Both Reds catchers, not just Tyler Stevenson, but Jose Trevino, who's handling the catching duties tonight for the Reds, been swinging the bat almost as well as Stevenson has, and a couple of hits down there toward the bottom for Edwin Arroyo last night as well. Ellie, of course, the home run last night, part of a 2-hit game, also had the triple. He scored twice, and he's ahead of the count against Javier Assad.
Javier Assad, just like in Managa the other day, not a high velocity guy. It's all about precision. He throws quite a few pitches. He's got that fastball that he'll sink as well as cut. And then some really good changeup and a sweeper. His numbers on the season.
He's kind of been in and out of the rotation for the Cubs, but their pitching staff is beat up right now. When the Reds faced the Cubs earlier in the season, he was actually pitching out of the bullpen. The Reds saw him once. Assad has had quite a bit of success against the Reds over his career. And it's 2-2 on De La Cruz. Ellie swinging it well over his last 11. 13 for 14, or 13 for his last 44.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. 272 on the year. Hit his 15th home run last night, and lays off a changeup upstairs.
And that's what Assad will do. He'll throw that fastball about 92, 93 miles an hour, and then he'll drop a 75-mile-an-hour curveball, 80-mile-an-hour changeup.
On the ground, right side, and it's through. Horner couldn't get it with a dive. Taking a look at our Bar S storylines, I would say the top of the order pretty productive last night. 8 for 15, 3 extra base hits in there, all the runs and RBIs from that part of the lineup. Meanwhile, for the Cubs, it was a different story.
Well, on the Cubs side, it just should say Hunter Green.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it should say. He was just that good last night.
Now Sal Stewart. You have Pete Crow Armstrong on one side, who came in smoking hot.
A ball. The catcher has challenged.
And we've already got an ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. It was called a ball.
The pitch was a strike. The count is 0-1. Chicago has 2 remaining challenges.
But I mean, you look at it, Pete Crow Armstrong came in absolutely on fire. We talked about it before the game ever started. One of the things the Reds would need to do is cool him off. I would say striking him out 3 times is a good place to start with that task.
I would agree with that.
And on the other side, you have the Reds leadoff man, Ellie De La Cruz, already with 3 hits and 6 at-bats in this series.
Yep. Production from the top of the lineup's important, but when they come up, they've got to have somebody on base. The lower portion's been doing a nice job as well.
Sal down a ball and 2 strikes, swinging through the fastball. Sal, another guy smoking hot right now. 2 more hits last night, an RBI. He's been right around that 250, 260 mark all year. You want to talk about peaks and valleys and kind of eliminating the peaks and valleys and being more on a plateau. We talked about that last night. Sal has done an incredible job of that throughout the course of the season. He had that one little slump after the hot start to the year. Ellie's in motion, and see if the Reds can stay out of the double play. Not only that, but more. Right under the glove of Nico Horner, and they're at the corners with nobody out.
Yeah, Nico Horner had to navigate the base runner, that bag as well. And I don't know if that goes down as a base hit or an error, but he's right there.
I mean, I don't know how you score that a hit. It didn't hit his glove, but that's about as academic as it gets.
I would agree. Yep. It goes down E4.
So the Reds catch a break. It was the right idea by Horner. He's the only chance they're going to have at a double play is if he fields that ball with his foot already on the bag.
Well, he was right there with Ellie moving on the pitch, so.
J.J. Bleday starting to show signs that he's heating up. Hits in 7 of his last 8 games. 240 on the year, 15 homers, and he's knocked in 41, and he's got an RBI opportunity right now. The former 4th overall pick of the Marlins on this draft day. He's down 0-2 right through the fastball. This is one of those opportunities you have to take advantage of early on.
Yeah, we've had few times in yesterday's ball game, this entire homestand, we've had plenty of opportunities to score early in the game. Let's take advantage of it today.
Good take by Bleday.
Well, this is one way to take advantage of scoring opportunities.
How sweet is that swing, though?
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Under control, and he is just oozing with power. Down on strikes looking. That fastball came back to the inside corner and locked him up.
Yeah, just a really good pitch right here. You mentioned it, a little two-seamer. Had a little sinking action. Started off a little bit off the plate inside. You give up on it. Good movement right back over the outside part of the strike zone.
We see that pitch, especially from right-handers, freeze a lot of left-handed batters. Is it that hard to pull the trigger on a pitch like that?
It is. Because you see it right at it, and it gives you pause. And the minute you stop.
Soft roller towards Swanson. See if they have time for 2. They do. The Reds come up empty after getting 1st and 3rd with nobody out. So we're scoreless through 1.
Major League Baseball in Philadelphia, and everybody or most players have some sort of a special draft memory. Like a lot of players in the Reds clubhouse, Nick Lodolo was drafted twice, once out of high school and then once after 3 years at TCU. He said in high school he was totally surprised and not paying attention. He was at his then girlfriend, now wife's graduation at the time. But when he got taken to the 1st round after 3 years at TCU, that was a relief. That was the dream. But he was also glad he had that college experience, and that helped launch him to where he is today on the mound for the Reds.
Thanks, BG. And, well, he had a pretty easy 1-2-3 first inning. Now, Barry, you and I were talking. I feel like this is a big inning for the Reds. They come up empty with a great opportunity to get on the board in the bottom of the 1st inning. One hopper to Arroyo off the bat of Carson Kelly. And there's one down here in the 2nd. When you don't take advantage of a chance like that, in my mind, that feels like a huge momentum shift for the Cubs.
Yeah, definitely for the opposition. And it's, I think it's demoralizing for you offensively as a club as well. So certainly it's going to help the Cubs, but it's also going to continue to put more and more pressure on you offensively to try to make things happen. And I think that's kind of where this offense is at times. Yesterday it was free and easy. Yesterday, you know, the home run by LA, and you know, and the team kind of flowed with Hunter Green on the mound. But you know, you have to have that kind of consistently. And you know, the approaches I thought were awesome.
Toward the corner, and Bleday can't get it. That's going to rattle around. It's extra bases for Michael Busch. He'll park at 2nd with a 1-out double.
And there you have it. Talked about the left on left. Michael Busch, they stand right there and getting a fastball out over the plate, keeping it fair down the line. But the Cubbies are saying, okay, boys, it's our day today, right? We made a couple mistakes. We got out of it. Now we got a runner in scoring position.
Second life, and boy, if they score here, this would be huge for the Cubs. See if Nick Lodolo can hammer the accelerator. But this could be trouble towards Steer, but it's going to curl back to him. Busch will tag at 2nd. He'll move up 90 feet. So now Busch at 3rd, but 2 outs after the fly out to right by Horner. It's up to Ian Happ to try to cash in that run at 3rd. Happ had a hit last night, a rare hit for the Cubs last night. He is a strikeout candidate. 123 strikeouts for Ian Happ on the year. Hitting just .221. And Lodolo a little bit off the outside corner with a first pitch fastball. And high. Happ has had some success, though, against Lodolo. And it wouldn't be a bad spot if you're Lodolo to be really careful. You know this guy's had success against you. There's a runner at third. You have 2 outs in the inning. The last thing you want to do is make a mistake against a guy that has hit you well.
Yep. And Dansby Swanson, who's on deck, has had a down year so far.
He's swinging it better lately, but kind of pick your poison there. He's behind Ian Happ right now. Got it in on his knuckles, and Lodolo a strike away from stranding that run over at third. It's only the second inning, but that feels like a big run down there for the Cubs.
Feel like a really good pitch right after that fastball in on the hands would be that front door sweeping breaking ball.
Here he comes. And it's the changeup down. Happ laid off.
That's a good one, too. Just not in the right spot.
Payoff pitch. And a little weak topper, but it's not going to be easy. Bare hands and gets the out. So Lodolo gets out of the jam, works around the 1-out double.
Every time a pitcher bounces off the mound, he comes back, says, boys, there's only one word to describe. Athlete.
By Bar S, we're scoreless as the Reds bat for the second time. Well, the Reds were able to keep the Cubs off the scoreboard in the second after the Reds failed to capitalize on a great scoring opportunity in the first. They could put that at rest if they can come up with a run here. Nathaniel Lowe takes strike one. Lowe has played in 28 games since his last home run. He's only hit 192 over that stretch, but he smokes this on one hop off of a sod, but he gathers and makes the out.
Yeah, I think Assad actually got a glove on this ball. I mean, this ball was smoked. This was 105 off the bat. After you let this ball go, you become a defender. And that's self-preservation.
But I think fortunately for Assad and the Cubs, he got his glove down there.
Definitely.
So here's Gino. He had a hit last night. I think Gino and Nathaniel Lowe both kind of fit into the same category of veteran hitters with some power that the Reds want to get going. They've both been struggling a little bit lately. Tries to go the other way, but he's down 0-2. Suarez just 2 for his last 17. He struck out 13 times. He does have a home run in there. The average is down to 202. One and two on Suarez. Javier Assad signed out of Mexico by the Cubs before his 18th birthday. He's playing for Yucatan down there. He has spent a long time in a Cubs uniform. He's now 28 years old. Now in his 5th big league season, and Suarez just does lay off the fastball off the outside corner. Well, he's worked it from an 0-2 count now to full. See if Suarez can get something to do some damage with right here. And he rips it over Swanson into left field. One out base hit for Eugenio Suarez.
A really nice job by Gino laying off some really tough pitches. And then getting a strike when he needs to throw a strike, being ready for it.
It's kind of exhibit A on how you force a pitcher into the strike zone.
That's right.
When they make the mistake, don't miss it. He didn't. And now it's Jose Trevino. Assad over the inside corner with the first pitch sinker. Trevino 12 for his last 35 over a 10-game stretch. That's a 343 mark. His average up to 250. Former 6th round pick. But he's down to the count here 0-2. All of a sudden Javier Assad is just painting. Splits the plate at the knees after shaving the inside corner. Now he's got Trevino down 0-2. Big hole on the right side. And he takes strike 3. That sinker started off the plate, got it to come back and nail the outside corner. Second strikeout for Javier Assad.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it. I feel like that entire sequence of pitching during that at bat, he did paint. He was middle, and then inside and outside. It's just really good pitching.
Jose Trevino probably going back to the dugout thinking, why is he pitching me like Babe Ruth all of a sudden?
What just happened?
What was that?
Yeah.
0-1 on Edwin Arroyo.
Oh, yeah.
Starts him off with a breaking ball. Arroyo's been swinging it a lot better here lately. As we talked about last night, really starting to look comfortable up here. Lays off the changeup down and in.
Starting to really pay attention to Arroyo's takes. I feel like he is getting in a much better position to take. And I feel like that is why he's able to kind of tread water right now until he really finds a hot streak. He's been hitting a lot of floaters, if you will, out there, and balls off the end of the bat, not really hard contact. And I think eventually the power comes for every young hitter. But I watch his takes and I see how he gets a nice little shoulder turn. And I feel like the future is bright for this young man.
He's ahead of the count here, 2-1. Suarez at first with 2 away, and Arroyo fouls it away.
And once you get that first one, then they all of a sudden start to come. So just be patient. It'll happen.
The key there,
Patience.
bingo. You force it, you end up waiting a long time for it, don't you?
Yes, indeed.
Goes the other way and fouls it away.
I remember the first time I hit 20 home runs in the big leagues. I was sitting on 19 for about 2 weeks or so. And Ken Griffey Sr. came up to me and said, Are you ready to stop trying? That's exactly what he said.
That's good advice.
I said, yeah, I've been ready for about 2 weeks now. Why didn't you tell me this 2 weeks ago?
And what'd you do that night?
I hit a homer.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I hit 2.
Wow. There you go. That's the funny thing. Strike 3 call. We'll continue that conversation. Back-to-back strikeouts for Javier Assad. We're scoreless through 2 tonight here at Great American Ballpark. The illustrious Ohio Cup. Everybody's talking about it.
Is that trophy still in Cleveland?
No, I think we have it.
We have it here now. It's
over,
here.
Yeah, it's over in the Hall of Fame right now.
All right.
0-1 on Dansby Swanson. He's hit safely in 5 straight, but waves through a good changeup from Lodolo. Boy, it's been a very non-Dansby Swanson-like year. Did have a hit last night, going 1 for 3.
Got 16 bombs and 58 ribbies. So he's had some production.
That's kind of an example of what he brings to the table. But he's down on strikes on 3 pitches to begin the 3rd.
That is un-Dansby Swanson-like. Just a good sign for Lodolo climbing the ladder for the punch out.
I've always liked Dansby Swanson as a player, and part of it is he's having a down year offensively, but he still finds ways to be productive for his team. He's just a gamer.
I had a chance to work with Dansby before he got drafted down in Orlando. I think he was in Vanderbilt at the time, and he gets drafted #1 overall. At the end of the day, I have a call from Dansby Swanson, and he was like, "Lark, I just wanted to thank you for helping me." Wow. I thought that was amazing.
There you go.
I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Pure class.
Yes.
Just a little high with that fastball, and it's 1-1 on the 9-hole hitting catcher, Miguel Amaya. 228 on the year for him. Occasional power. Awfully tardy there on the heater from Lodolo.
There's a little lift in that swing right there. Doesn't work. Not at this level. Guys are trying to get the ball in the air. I'm gonna tell you, you better stay down and through the baseball. You have no chance at this level. You got that upward plane of swing.
Pitchers see that.
Oh yeah.
And they eat you alive.
Yeah. Fastballs in the top of the zone all day long. Look at that.
There he goes. Right up there. Just a little bit up and out of the zone there. Count is level with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lodolo with a couple of strikeouts as he works with the bases empty and 1 out here in the 3rd.
You seeing a pattern there?
Made quick work of Amaya. Take a look at it, our champion Windows pitch tracks.
Well, you go to school by looking to see what a hitter is trying to do, and you see the little bit of tilt from Amaya. So you say, you know what? There's no chance for you to catch up with this ball up in the zone. Smart pitching and game planning.
Is it the front shoulder that's the dead giveaway?
Yeah, that was kind of a little bit of a giveaway.
0-1 on Pete Crow Armstrong. Lodolo got him looking. The funny thing is, and I talked about it a little bit, touched on it in the 1st inning, that lefties are hitting Lodolo better this year than they ever have. And you just look at the stuff of Lodolo and you scratch your head. Because
he's a problem.
Yeah,
he's a problem. Well, the double from Michael Bush, the only hit that the Dodgers have, the Cubs have, was a double down the left field line. It's a fastball out over the plate from a left-handed hitter against Nick Lodolo. And that's got to be your approach. It's because he's so long, he slings the ball from that first base side of the mound. Got to stay through it. So your sight has to be like shortstop. Through that shortstop hole. And then if you catch one out in front, you pull it.
Had him reaching there, sent it right over the head of Seiya Suzuki, who went ducking out of the way. One and 2. Lodolo trying to strike him out for the 2nd time. Just missed. Trying to get a swing there from Pete Crow Armstrong, but no such luck, and it's even. Here's the break even. And he froze him, but he just missed. I thought for sure Dan Merzel, the home plate umpire, was going to ring him up right there. He started to stand up like that was it, but
yeah, looked like it was off just a hair.
And it was. Right back out there again, but too far outside. And after he had him down to the count, Pete Crow Armstrong works the 2-out walk. Brings up Seiya Suzuki, who grounded to Sal Stewart on a hard hit one hopper his first time up. Crow Armstrong aboard for the first time in this series. And now Lodolo right back to work.
Be careful. Don't allow him to ambush a fastball right here.
Instead, he throws him a changeup. Good idea.
I'm telling you. Guys are going to school down there. You know, good and well. He just walked this guy. He's going to try to get ahead with this fastball. I am letting it eat. Good pitch to changeup.
Got to keep an eye on PCA at first. Started to. I want to ask for help, but Alex McKay, after a while, finally says no swing. Pete Crow Armstrong does have 23 steals. He's been caught 6 times over at first base. And Lodolo checks on him. Oh, they're going to call a balk on Lodolo.
They said he flexed his knee. Home plate umpire Dan Marzell went and he said it looked like he touched his knee as if.
Unless he's saying he stepped more toward home plate, but
I didn't see anything.
That didn't look much different than his normal move over there. So the balk moves him into scoring position, and now Lodolo falls behind on Seiya Suzuki. Now Lodolo going to have to flex a little mental toughness here with 2 outs. Good pitch there. Had him right over the top of the changeup. He's had trouble with that changeup. First 2 strikes of this at bat. Popped him up. It's Trevino, and he's got it. And for the second straight inning, the Cubs strand a runner in scoring position. Nice job by Lodolo. Now let's check in again with Ryan Giesen.
He's a very talented baseball player, also shortstop from the University of Virginia. He's led by his hit tool, but he's a very well-rounded player, and his tools often get sold short. And then Mulavai Lavu is a player that we know really well. He was a teammate of Brock Chalowski, who is the son of one of our scouts. So we've watched him, and he's a really advanced hitter. Uses the whole field, can drive the ball, and has the ability to be more than just a first baseman. We think he could play third as well.
Yeah. And then Ty Horn and Ethan Norby.
Yeah, both very talented guys. One a righty from Nebraska, the other a lefty from ECU. We both see a path forward for them as starting pitchers. If that doesn't work, they both have impact stuff to play in a major league bullpen.
Joe, congratulations on day 1. I know the work doesn't stop. You're right back at it for tomorrow, right?
Absolutely. It'll be a short night of sleep, and we'll be back at it for round 5 tomorrow.
All right, best of luck tomorrow. And this is where it starts. Everyone wants to see it happen fast, and you can see that sometimes. See Sal Stewart. But the Reds' #1 pick today, Justin LeBron from the University of Alabama.
5 college picks there. So you're right, BG. Sometimes it happens quick. Sal Stewart moved quickly. Rhett Lauder, Chase Burns, guys that have moved quickly through the organization, drafted out of college. Be fun to watch those guys move through the ranks. 2-1 on De La Cruz. Good to see. Speaking of things that are good to see, TJ Friedel going right back up the middle with his single to start the inning.
Laced the ball up the middle is what we normally have seen from TJ Friedel. Really nice to see that from him. It's been a struggle. Hopefully that is a sign of things to come.
Second time in 3 innings the Reds have had their leadoff man aboard, and now Ellie way ahead in the count, 3-1. Ellie found a hole on the right side with a base hit to start the ball game for the Reds. And he rips this into center. Friedel's going to go first to third. Instead, he slams on the brakes around second. It gets away, but Bush is there to field the deflection. I really thought for sure you were going to see Friedel turn on the burners and try to go first to third, but a good idea with Pete Crow Armstrong attacking that ball, and it was hit sharply. It got on him quickly.
Yeah, the ball got to him really quickly. Why? Because that was 112.5 off the bat of Ellie De La Cruz. So it gets to PCA, and PCA is charging that ball, understanding that he's got a cannon himself. So smart decision. TJ Friedel stopping at second.
Sal takes just a little bit low.
And here we are again with runners on base early, no outs.
You've got some
opportunity to score some runs.
It's the second time in 3 innings the Reds have had a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And it's 2-0 on Sal Stewart. And this is what it doesn't matter who you talk to down there. You can talk to Terry Francona. You can talk to Reds hitting coach Chris Valaika. These are the situations where, as the hitter, you've got to keep in mind the pressure is on the pitcher.
That's right.
In the air toward left center. Crow Armstrong will haul it in, and the runners have to hold now 1 out. And you look at where that pitch was, it was in off the plate.
Yep. Not going to do anything with that pitch right there. That was maybe trying to do a little too much. Absolutely. A lot of times when we struggle as hitters, we think it's our swing. It's not necessarily our swing. It's the pitches that we're swinging at.
Does it take a while to realize that?
It does.
Or maybe I should say not realize it, accept it.
It does. It does. I mean, it takes both. It takes a while to understand. Wait a minute. It's not necessarily my swing. It's the pitch that I'm trying to swing at, or the pitch that I am swinging at. That's why takes are so important. Takes are so important because a good take means you see the ball, you pick it up early, and you were in position to be able to impact the baseball, but you decided not to.
It's fun to hear that takes are important from both sides, because you talk to a pitcher and a pitcher will tell you, I can tell a lot based on where a hitter's at by how they're taking a pitch.
100%.
Bleday's down 0-2.
You want that pitcher thinking, man, he was right on that. I can't throw that pitch again. And that you only kind of transmit that by the way that the position you're in when you actually take the pitch.
Body language says a lot on the field.
Yes, it does.
Still 1-2 on Bleday. Fights off the changeup. He was caught watching on a fastball that shaved the inside corner his first time up. Already 15 home runs this year. Keep in mind, he was in the minor leagues. Now they've got Ellie picked off first base. Michael Busch snuck in behind him, and now there's 2 outs.
Well, obviously we weren't really looking over there to see what happened, but you can see Michael Busch really starting to creep behind Ellie De La Cruz, and looks like Colin was looking right at Michael Busch and yelling. Maybe Ellie didn't hear him. Maybe there wasn't anything said.
That's the Cubs doing their homework right there. Still 1-2 on Bleday. Again, another huge opportunity for the Reds, and you just feel like you can't let the Cubs off the hook here. Cubs trying to get out of the jam for the second time in 3 innings. Good take by Bleday on that backdoor breaking ball. That's starting to heat up for J.J. Bleday. Now's a good time to keep it smoking. Ooh, good take. Just a little down with that changeup. Pretty good pitch from Javier Assad, especially with 2 strikes.
Really good pitch, but excellent take.
I mean, that starts in the zone, and it just dipped below. In the air, routine for the Cubs center fielder. The Reds threaten, but come up empty in the 3rd, and we are still scoreless. Well, twice the Reds have threatened against the Cubs and come up empty. Both of those threats, they've had runners in scoring position, once a runner at third with nobody out, but came up empty. Lodolo's done his part. Now he's got to keep the Cubs at bay. Alex Bregman jumps ahead in the count. Bregman now for his last 12. He's had a tough month of July overall. Just 156 this month. 2-0 on Bregman. And it's 3-0. Former All-Star Game MVP. He's won a Gold Glove. An All-Star as recent as last year with the Red Sox. At 273, his average down 40 points this year, and he walks on 4 pitches to begin the 4th inning. Big Sandy would like a word.
You'll find the best selection of the top brands at the guaranteed lowest price. Big Sandy Superstore in Fairfield and the Kenwood Shopping Center.
Carson Kelly with a man aboard. It's the first time so far tonight that the Cubs have had their leadoff man aboard, and it's 0-1 on Carson Kelly. You take another ground ball toward Edwin Arroyo here. Shaved to the inside corner. So he dots with the first 2 pitches here to Carson Kelly after a 4-pitch walk to Alex Bregman.
Yeah, there's something to be said, though, about being effectively wild, if you will. And that's one of the things that was talked about when the players were. I was talking to some of the Mets hitters about Lodolo and Lodolo's rookie season. And they said, you know why he's a problem? It's because we can't trust that he knows where the ball is coming from. Now, at that time, he was throwing 95 and 96 and slinging that breaking ball all over the place. But he was effectively wild. And the guy said it was a very, very uncomfortable at bat. So, yeah.
Right back up the middle, and the Cubs have a little something brewing here. Bregman will hold on at second, but the first 2 Cubs have reached here in the 4th.
I think sometimes you can use that to your advantage. He was ahead in the count, but he left a pitch right over the plate. Carson Kelly right back up the middle.
You know, we always talk about as pitchers grow and they refine their command. Well, sometimes that allows the hitter, to your point, to think along with what the pitcher's doing, and then they're able to execute. Ellie, nice backhand play, had a little trouble getting it out of his glove, but the Reds still turn it.
Yeah, that was really nice right there. Just a little bit of trouble getting it out of his glove, but he had plenty of time because this ball was hit really hard. Nice job to the backhand.
And most of all, not an ounce of panic.
There you go.
But it's funny when you have a pitcher that maybe is effectively wild earlier in their career, then they refine their command. Hitters maybe can think along with them. They know that the pitcher can now execute their game plan, and they almost become, in a way, easier to hit. Now the pitcher has to adjust to that fact.
Well, the pitcher has to continue to be not effectively wild, but selectively wild at that point. You know, Rob Dibble was the perfect example of that.
In the air, there's Steer going back, and again, this time it's the Reds pitching out of trouble behind Nick Lodolo. Toyota dealer. Nate, good luck to you, man. Well, the Reds have had some opportunities. In fact, you can argue that even a 1-out single in the 2nd inning counts as an opportunity. The Reds have been struggling to move base runners so far in this game. 1st and 2nd, nobody out in the 3rd. 1st and 3rd, nobody out in the 1st, and we're still scoreless. Of course, the Cubs can say the same thing. They had 1st and 2nd to start this inning. That was just a bit outside. Steer showing great restraint to lay off. Now it's even. Right back to the inside corner. Throws one to the backstop.
Then paints. Yeah.
Effectively wild.
I talked about Rob Dibble, and he was the perfect example. Effectively wild, actually selectively wild, because that ball that he threw to the backstop was on the other side of the batter's box. Rob Dibble would have thrown the ball to the backstop behind the back of the hitter, and then paint.
Oh, whoops! It slipped. And then of course go to the rosin bag, act like it was an accident.
Yep.
Now it's 2-2 on Steer.
Then he throw 100 right on the outside part for a slider.
It's pretty good mind gamesmanship.
But it wasn't just him though. It was kind of infectious with the group that we had at the time. You know, Norm Charlton would do the same thing. Randy Myers, the same thing. There was a reason why they were the nasty boys.
Yeah.
Now,
they weren't the choir boys.
No,
they were the nasty boys.
They certainly were not the choir boys. But Rob Dibble, I remember going to the mound, and I would go to the mound often when Lou Piniella would look at me like, hey, somebody needs to go talk to this guy.
And he freezes him with a fastball, sinking that one right back to the outside half the plate.
So many times it would be me to go just to try to calm these guys down, and Dibs would meet me with a, what are you doing up here, kind of not so nice greeting at times. I just came up to get some rosin. That's all.
All 4 strikeouts for Javier Assad so far have been watching. Lowe smoked one on a hop right back at Assad, but it went off his glove. Assad recovered to get the out. Who are some of the nastiest guys that you remember being intimidated to dig in against? There had to be
There's
some.
really no intimidation at the big league level.
Rip to right.
There it is.
And the Reds are on the board, and Nathaniel Lowe's home run drought is over.
Well, that's certainly one way to drive in the runs. Nate Lowe's been sitting on this homerless streak for a while, and gets him a cutter. That one was not painted. That was up out over the plate, and the big fella.
Finger paint, maybe.
Dialed long distance.
Snaps the 28-game homerless drought for Nathaniel Lowe. He's into double figures, now 26 RBIs to get the Reds on the board. Well, it was a home run that broke the dam for the Reds last night. Maybe that'll do it tonight. Quickly 0-2 on Eugenio Suarez. Well, we mentioned that it's not just the homerless drought, but Nathaniel Lowe has just been struggling to hit in general since his last home run. You get him hot. Some other guys are swinging the bat better now for this Reds team. It becomes infectious. And I've always believed that the reason that hitting like that, we always say hitting is contagious. And I'm curious if you kind of feel the same way. It's because once one guy gets going, it takes the pressure off the guys around him.
It does.
And that just the trickle down effect carries over.
It certainly does.
1-2 and holding here on Suarez.
What you want more is you just want more, string together more quality at bats. That's what you want, and that's when you start getting your doubles and your home runs, your walks. Right, you start saying, hey, good take, good take, good take. I talked about that. Good take, good take, good take, which means you're in really good position. Then all of a sudden he hangs a cutter, and it's a.
Now Suarez deep to right. Suzuki out of room. 2-0 Reds. Gino goes deep. Back to back, Lowe and Suarez.
So you were saying something about infectious hitting?
Kind of like that.
Kind of like that, exactly. You string them together. And certainly great to see Gino go deep again. Pitch out over the plate. Very similar to the cutter, the location of the cutter for Nate Lowe. These big fellas, you let them extend their arms on a pitch out over the plate. Remember, Assad is not a guy with high velocity, so you're not worried about him throwing it by you.
And because of that, coming into this game, I kind of felt like this might be a pretty good matchup for Eugenio Suarez. And now here he is, 2 for 2, including a home run.
Good vibes, good vibes.
That is his 199th career home run as a member of the Reds. That passes you. He's all alone now in 11th place on the Reds all-time list. Sorry, but you just fell to 12.
Oh man, I got bumped off my 11.
You did. Wow. Yeah.
Well,
Guess you got to find a new number.
well. Well, I'm sure there's some other guys coming up there soon. Shouldn't take Ellie nor Sal too long to catch.
No, hey, I was going to say no offense, but I hope there are. That'd be good for all involved.
Yes, it would be.
Looped over by the tarp. It's a long run for Suzuki, but that's going to end up in the seats. In and out of the seats. A ball and 2 strikes on Jose Trevino. He's one of the 4 strikeout victims of Javier Assad. Red starting to solve him a little bit the second time through. Trevino tries to go the other way, but a nice sliding grab by Bush at first. Now Edwin Arroyo.
3 good swings in a row. Talked about it. You want to string together good at bats.
And in watching the swings of both Gino and Nathaniel Lowe, I didn't feel like either one of them were swinging for the downs.
Oh no, absolutely not. Just swinging to make good contact. Now both those guys, tremendous power, and they know good and well.
A lot of ground to cover, and that'll end up in the first row.
If they put a good swing on the ball, that's what's so impressive about veteran hitters. They know what they have to do. Just get into position.
We started to talk about it a few innings ago, and we were discussing it a little bit more in the break, and I wanted to get back to it, but now is as good a time as any. You talk to veteran hitters, the guys that have been around the game for a while, they have some power, and they will tell you, yourself included, very rarely do you hit a home run when you're actually trying to hit a home run.
Yes. What you're trying to do is get a ball in the zone where you know if you put a good swing on it, depending on the situation, that you have a chance to get this ball in the air. You can drive this ball in the air. Very similar when there's a runner on third base and the infield's in. You have to learn to hunt for a pitch in a zone, not a particular pitch, but a pitch in a zone. Because if it's a fastball or a changeup, a curveball or slider, the one thing that you have to do is you have to wait. If it's 100 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour, guess what you have to do? You have to wait. You have to wait for the ball to get to you. Now you wait less when 100 miles an hour is coming, but
right.
You're still waiting. The point is you're not trying to time it and get there at the same time. Pete Rose told me very, very early in my career, if you're on time, you're late. So be early in everything.
That doesn't just apply to showing up for the bus.
That's right.
Full count on Arroyo. Well, and the thing about that, you kind of just end up relying on your instincts, your natural abilities just take over at that point, right? When you can simplify it to just looking at his zone.
Yes.
Arroyo hits it sharply, but there's Nico Horner. He'll flip it for the out. But the Reds go back to back to get on the board.
Well, Nate Lowe gets himself a cutter and gets the scoring started. And then Gino Suarez.
Yes, top of the fifth at Great American Ballpark. The Reds with back-to-back home runs on top by 2. Time to take a look at some homegrown talent. And this is what it looks like. Current Reds on the 26-man roster, drafted and developed by the Cincinnati Reds. And that is key. We mentioned Chase Burns, the fast track. And then you see some of those names picked up today and tomorrow. That's the hope. Draft and develop in Cincinnati and then get them here. And Joe Katuska told me the development doesn't stop. They need young players that you see on the screen to continue to get better and develop. But that's the mission and the philosophy of the Cincinnati Reds this time of year.
Ian Happ flirts with the right field corner, but he'll slice that out of play. And we have seen some development up here. I mean, you look at the progress that Elly De La Cruz has made year over year over year, and having a breakout season this year.
He didn't I'm just looking out on the field. I'm looking at Sal Stewart as well. TJ Friedl. I remember TJ Friedl as a really young outfielder. Just a guy that was just in the cage all day long. So yeah, I think it's, that is what it's about. You don't have the budget to go out there and buy all the best talent. You certainly have to draft smart. First of all, you got to be able to sign the guy. Depending on who his representation is, sometimes that can be a challenge in itself.
Dansby Swanson struck out his first time up. With the progress that we're seeing Nick Lodolo make, for Nick, the biggest key for his development is health. Looks like they finally have the blister issue licked. Knock on wood.
Kind of disappointing to hear about Chase Burns and he won't be able to participate in the All-Star game. However, how about the maturity of him saying, although everyone dreams about being an All-Star, and thank goodness he still will represent the Reds as an All-Star, but he won't be pitching in the game. How mature to him to go and tell Tito, hey man, listen, I kind of strained something and I just want to make sure that I'm good the second half because we're going to win the second half, and I want to be a huge part of that.
And the fact that he's still going, like you said, there's so much knowledge to be gained by being in that room. You've done it. You've been there. You get a chance to pick the brains of the best in the game right now. And no doubt, knowing Chase Burns, he'll be doing that.
Yeah.
He's going to talk to guys. And there's a lot to be gained just by being there and being around those players.
For sure.
I was so pumped to hear that he was still going to go.
Well, I'm excited to see how he pitches with Hunter Green on the staff. Right? Before Hunter Green was here, he was really the power guy on this staff. What Hunter Green did yesterday, I'm sure Chase Burns was in his pocket going, hey, listen, tell me about what you were thinking here or there. I had a chance to talk to Hunt the other day, and he talked about another pitch that he's developing right now. He didn't display it in the game so much, but he's got a pitch that he's still working on, and he's continuing to develop. We've seen him start to throw that split a little bit more. We didn't see that a couple of years ago. So he's working on this game, working on this craft, but I'm really interested to see how Chase Burns takes to Hunter Green being the guy.
Well, internal competition can do you some good.
I talked to Smokes and Glavine and Mad Dog Maddox about that all the time, and they said, Lark, listen, we're all Hall of Fame players and pitchers, but we all wanted to be the best on that staff, and it made everybody better.
It's 1-2 on Swanson. He's down on strikes for the second time. This time caught looking. Fourth strikeout for Lodolo.
We've seen this a couple times from Nick. Just right on the inside part of that zone.
That's about as high as you can get and still be in the strike zone. Even Jose Trevino was ready if it wasn't called a strike. He was going to challenge.
You saw him, yes.
He's like, okay.
Yes.
He knew it looked good. Well, after the Reds stake Lodolo to a 2-run advantage, he's trying for a 1-2-3-5, but he's not going to get it. Amaya with a little looper into left center. Broken bat knock.
Guess where that pitch was knocked to Amaya? It was not up, it was down. Strike him out on those pitches up in the zone. And then you throw him a changeup down. He can get to it.
Probably not down enough. He still had a little room in the zone to go a little lower, and Amaya almost ran out of bat chasing that. Pete Crow Armstrong feigning the bunt on the first pitch fastball. Ooh, looked good.
See a little shift of eyes from PCA looking at that third baseman. Yep.
Thought about it again.
Sure did. And I think the Reds are saying, hey, listen, you want to put a bunt down? I'm watching Sal Stewart. He shortened up a little bit. But PCA, if you want to put a bunt down, go right ahead and do it.
But Lodolo's behind him 3-0. He walked him last time after he jumped ahead 0-2.
Sal tried to set him up that time. When the pitch was on the way, Sal started to crash. He's got some gamesmanship out there. He just gets it.
Now right in there with a fastball. Lodolo's been cruising along. He's just shy of 70 pitches as he works here. Like to see. Instead he walked out. I was going to say you'd like to see him get Pete Crow Armstrong, get the Reds back in the dugout. You got a chance to get a little deeper into this game, but now that pitch count after a 2-out base hit followed by a walk, that pitch count starts to creep up, and you may think, well, it's just 2 batters, but those 2 batters can turn into 3, and then it's another inning that you cost yourself.
And now you're into the power of the Cubs lineup. Suzuki, 15 bombs and 47 ribbies on the year.
And what started out as one of the fastest innings for Lodolo today has turned into one of his longest innings tonight. Control starting to lapse a little bit, but he's been able to get Suzuki both times on a grounder to third and a pop out to the catcher. Just a little out in front of the changeup. Little wiggle room though, and I think that's the other part where you look at that at bat with Pete Crow Armstrong. You have a 2-run advantage. You'd probably like to see him be a little bit more aggressive in that at bat. Lodolo, that is. He's ahead of Suzuki now.
PCA put down the bunt 2 times in a row. He wanted to bunt just to get on base. I think that says something about how he feels his chances of hitting against Lodolo. Not that he can't, but he's thinking we're down 2-0. If I get on base, say it pops one, we're up 3-2.
And there's a liner into right center field. The Cubs are going to get on the board. Pete Crow Armstrong busting it toward third. Now the Reds almost had him. I'm a little surprised Ellie put that in his back pocket. Pete Crow Armstrong slammed on the brakes late around third. I think with Ellie's arm, if he unloads right away, they may have a chance.
Keep an eye on Pete Crow Armstrong. What? Well, we're losing him in that frame right there. But he is flying around the bases. I mean, he was moving, and I think all the while he was thinking, I'm scoring. This ball's in the gap. I'm scoring. If there's any bobble at all by Ellie De La Cruz, he scores easily.
And he was ready for it. So now they're at the corners. That tying run's 90 feet away. And Bregman to deep left center. Friedel has it measured. The Cubs get 1, but Strand 2, and the Reds are still on top. Halftime here at Great American Ballpark. Gotta get that Reds hat. Coney's all over it. Nothing more Cincinnati than that. TJ Friedel, nice base hit up the middle his first time up. Came off the bench last night. Only got one at bat. Cubs already have action in their bullpen behind Javier Assad. Drew Pomeranz getting loose. Reds have had traffic on the bases in every inning so far against Assad. Back-to-back home runs, the difference in the game right now. Friedel ahead in the count right here. And Friedel now way ahead of the count. Assad, even though he has struck out 4 so far in this game, he's not getting a ton of swing and miss. In fact, he's only had 2 whiffs so far in this game. Those were both back in the first inning. Lazy fly though to left. Swanson will handle it going out from short, and that's the first out of the Reds' 5th inning. Let's hear from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at MVG. With over 2,200 of the best gaming machines, we got you covered.
Ellie had a couple of hits last night, his last 2 at bats. He has started this game with a pair of hits, and now he drives this deep toward the left center field gap, but Pete Crow Armstrong runs it down. Pretty solid contact.
Yeah, really good contact. Pete Crow Armstrong in center field is a special player. Gets that ball fairly easily.
So now it's up to Sal Stewart. Could be Javier Assad's last inning, and it might be his first inning tonight where the Reds don't get anybody on base. Sal's 0 for 2. Put a good swing on it, but the swing just fouled it back. Pomeranz appears pretty much ready to go. Now Sal down to the count 0-2. You have the left-hander Blade up next with the lefty Pomeranz in the bullpen, so this might be Assad's last batter regardless. But it's 0-2 on Sal. Just kind of threw his bat at it, pokes it into short center, could be trouble, but not for Pete Crow Armstrong. It is a 1-2-3 5th for Javier Assad, but the Reds still by 1.
Elk and Elk injury report, and Dane Myers on that list. The shoulder injury for Myers has kept him out for a while, but while most players value a few days off at the All-Star break, Myers volunteered to go to Arizona to get some more treatment, to play some games there because he wants to be ready to help, or as he said, ready to roll in Colorado when the Reds start the second half of the season after the All-Star break. Terry Francona appreciated that and hopes Myers is back on the roster and back in center field soon.
Got to respect a guy that's a gamer. Make no mistake about it, Dane Myers is a gamer.
Yeah, good for him. I think that's amazing. I think that's outstanding.
Basically went into a swan dive into the left center field wall there in Milwaukee.
How about that effort?
I mean, that's incredible.
Was.
Carson Kelly trying to tie this thing up to deep left center field, and we're even. 6th home run of the year for Carson Kelly.
Looks like we're having a medical visit at the mound with Lodolo, but this is just a sinker up in the zone, right out over the plate. Carson Kelly, a big man. Those arms extended.
Well, that's bad news. Perhaps the worst news is Nick Lodolo's looking at his finger. Well, that's it. Well, we all know what that means.
Yeah.
We've seen that too many times. Nobody knows that more than Nick Lodolo. That is about as frustrating as it gets, and make no mistake about it, there's nobody more frustrated about it than Lodolo himself.
And the frustrating thing, according to Lodolo, is the fact that he couldn't spin as many breaking balls as he would like to. So you look at the pitch, and he went to a sinker, right? A sinker left out over the plate, where maybe he felt if he not had that issue with the blister, he could have buried a breaking ball.
Right.
So super frustrating.
Well, the Reds are going to go to the bullpen probably a little earlier than they hoped. We're tied at 2 in the 6th.
For the Reds, but just left the game after this pitch that resulted in a home run for Carson Kelly. Lodolo checked the finger right away. And Tommy said, you know what that means. Lodolo has battled the blister issue throughout his career. I talked to him a few days ago, and his last 2 starts in Milwaukee and here in Cincinnati were the 2 hottest starts of the season. And because that's where the problem started in spring training, pitching with the heat, he felt like he had cleared a hurdle with the blister by getting through those 2 hot games unscathed, pitching as well as he has. But it looks like it's resurfaced here tonight. He's down the tunnel, and Caleb Ferguson takes over for the Reds in the 6th inning when we come back.
10th time. Of course, he's got a chance now to pick up a victory. Coming into a tie game. He's got the left-handed hitting Michael Busch. He'll be followed by a couple of right-handers. Busch doubled off Lodolo in the 2nd, then hit into a double play that helped Lodolo get out of the 4th. Brand new ball game. Looking at the Reds bullpen, there's nothing going on out there. Kind of thought maybe Tito might use Ferguson to get through the 6th. He's got Lauder available today. Perhaps could go to him in the 7th. I would imagine if he thought about Lauder, he might be up already. But he's not.
He's walking around.
He's loosening up a little bit. He's just not throwing yet. 0-1 on Michael Busch. Didn't want to, but spoiled it foul. Love that as a pitcher.
That's called in the kitchen.
Busch among the league leaders in the National League in walks. Lays off the high fastball. You see that? Guy walks a lot. Probably going to have to get him out in the strike zone. Walking significantly more than he did a year ago, and now he's gone from 0-2 to an even 2-ball 2-strike count. It is officially a blister on the left index finger for Nick Lodolo. And that's spoiled up the third base line. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, made mention earlier that we thought that Nick Lodolo had that blister issue licked, and then here it comes.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Unfortunate for Nick.
I knocked on wood. Maybe this isn't real wood. 2-2. He was talking about that. I did a Q&A with him. I guess it was yesterday, and that came up. Season ticket members. He felt pretty confident that that was behind him at long last, using this new device that he's been using, and here it comes back tonight on a muggy night. It's not as warm as it has been, but still plenty humid.
Yes, it is. It is that.
That's going to bounce through the right side, and Bush is aboard to begin the Cubs' 6th inning. His second hit tonight, both off left-handers.
Michael Bush just stays right in there. Talked about really good takes. Took a few pitches down and away, and then got one he could handle.
Another hitter that forces the pitcher into the strike zone and ends up aboard. So now Nico Hoerner.
And Nico Hoerner's been living in that right center gap. He's hit some balls pretty much on the screws. It was kind of a struggle for him for a while, but when you look at hitters, you look to see the adjustments that they make. He's letting the ball get a little more deep. You saw a few line drives, so be careful here.
Hoerner still looking for his first hit of the series. Cutter runs a little tight. Had hit safely in 11 straight. Snapped that streak. Going 0 for 3 last night. In the air, playable for Friedel. One down, and Bush stays at first. Brings up Ian Happ. Well, never a bad time for a double play. Happ is grounded back to the pitcher. That was the soft tapper back to Lodolo that he barehanded with the runner at third in the second. Last time up, picked on Spencer Steer and right. Right over the top of a good breaking ball from Ferguson. Boy, the bottom just fell out of it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Awkward swing from Happ. Toward the line and right, Steer giving chase, and that's going to end up in the seats. But he's got him down on the count now 0-2. Now you're in a situation like this. So he spins the breaking ball to get ahead. It was in the zone, well above the knees, split the plate, comes back with the high fastball. What are you looking for here as the hitter?
It's 0-2, so you're thinking, you're not really looking. You're looking for a strike. You're looking to maintain your balance. You're looking to put the ball in play. If he makes a mistake, you got to be in position like that.
And that one's in the gap. Trouble for the Reds. Friedel's going to chase it down. It's actually Bleday over from left. Here comes Bush around third. The Reds won't have a play, and the Cubs have the lead. On a 2-strike pitch, Ian Happ doubles the Cubs in front.
As I said, another breaking ball, and all Ian Happ is trying to do is maintain his balance. He does a really nice job of that. Just places the ball right in the gap. And Michael Bush, who laid off a few tough pitches to get himself a base hit, scores all the way from first base.
That was the breaking ball down, and you just kind of get the sense he didn't get it down enough. Matt Tracy out to pay Ferguson a visit while Julian Garcia starts getting loose in a hurry out in the Reds bullpen.
And when you have success, and the kind of success that Ian Happ has had here in Cincinnati, remember he's a UC Bearcat, so coming back home basically essentially and having the success he has had, regardless of how things are going, you're always in a positive mindset. I know it's going to go well for me. This is the time. This is the time. This is the time. And time again, he has come up huge here in Cincinnati.
A home run, single, a double for the Cubs in this 6th inning. Still only 1 out. The Cubs have rallied in front. And Ferguson misses to Swanson with the cutter outside for ball one. Lodolo struck out Swanson both times he came up. Got him swinging in the third, looking in the fifth. Chopper towards Sal. The runner stays at second. They get the out at first. 2 away. Now the 9-hole hitter Miguel Amaya. Amaya scored the Cubs' first run after a 2-out single in the 5th inning. And now the catcher Jose Trevino is headed out to the mound, and you kind of wonder maybe this is a bit of a stall tactic just to make sure Garcia gets ready. And that appears to be the case. Terry Francona makes his way up the steps. So we've got another pitching change. Third pitcher of the inning coming in from the Reds bullpen. Cubs have jumped in front. It is 3 legs. This time it is Julian Garcia. Threat not over for the Cubs. They've still got a runner at second base with 2 outs, and Garcia's on for the 7th time. And I think he's been a bright spot for the Reds this year.
He certainly has been. Last time he did pitch, it was in that Philly series. Pretty good numbers on the season.
Terry Francona not afraid to bring him in when there's traffic on the bases, especially a guy that can spin it like him. Get hitters that are aggressive. Maybe chase him out of the zone.
You remember Amaya got a little bit of that upward swing. So the success we had against him was up in the zone with the fastball.
Watches a breaking ball hit the outer half, and it's even.
The base hit that he got was the breaking ball down, the changeup down.
But he pops it up here. It's between Ellie and Sal. Who takes it? Ellie has it. The Cubs get 2 to jump in front, 3-2. The Reds come to bat. Nobody has prevented more runs than Pete Crow Armstrong. You see why? This ball is blasted. J.J. Bleday has tied things up.
J.J. Bleday did not allow Drew Pomeranz to get comfortable on that mound at all. First offering, ambush.
Well, we talked about it. He handles the ball in pretty well. Where was that? And up. And off the barrel. And now it's in the Cubs bullpen. He's now homered in back-to-back ball games. That's 3 home runs in his last 4. And he now has hits in 8 of his last 9. I think we might have mentioned that he's starting to heat up a little bit again.
So
that's a thing of beauty.
good sign.
3rd home run of the night for the Reds. Steer goes right back up the middle. Dansby sliding, spinning. Wow.
That's a nice play right there, Dansby Swanson. You get to the ball, you got to drop your ankle quickly and go into the spin cycle. So you start thinking about sliding before the ball gets there. Catches it extended and right into the spin cycle, using your momentum. Out easily at first base.
It kind of makes it look routine. I believe that is.
Yeah, there's nothing routine about that play.
Nathaniel Lowe had the Reds' first home run tonight, with 1 out in the 4th inning. Both Nathaniel Lowe and Eugenio Suarez going into double figures with home runs now before the All-Star break. Gives the Reds 6 players with 10 or more homers before the break, and Lowe has his 2nd hit tonight. Dumps one into center field, a 1-out base hit, and it brings up the aforementioned Suarez.
They come in bunches. Got off the snide, and here he is. 2 hits on the day so far. And the veterans providing the power. It's been 3 home runs in the game today. Nate Lowe got him a cutter. Gino powered a heater out of here.
And the opposite field home run for Gino. 0-1 quickly on Suarez. It's the first time the Reds have had 6 players with 10 or more home runs before the break since 2011. It's the 7th time in team history. 0-2 on Suarez.
I think there's nothing better than a balanced attack.
Right.
And I think that's what it is, because no one particular player feels like they have to take on that responsibility of being the guy. Certainly, you have your guys that have more propensity to hit a home run. But when everyone's doing their job, it makes it much more enjoyable and a little easier. Never easy, but it gets a little more simple.
Can't imagine it's real easy to hit at this level under pressure.
It's not easy to hit at this level under pressure, not anything. The only time it's easy to hit at this level is in batting practice.
5 o'clock.
That's it. Once the game starts, there is nothing easy about anything. Not at this level.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Suarez laying off the last 2, and now the last 3, and he's worked it full. And he walked him. The Cubs want a challenge. Right now it's a walk.
The previous pitch was called a ball. The catcher has challenged.
Looked pretty good. ABS presented by T-Mobile. Oh, it is low.
The pitch was a ball. It is ball 4.
Wow.
Chicago has 1 remaining challenge.
And an inch low. So Tommy Hotovy will go pay Drew Pomeranz a visit. Well, we talked about it quite a bit yesterday, Bear, but this is a Cubs team that is struggling mightily in the bullpen right now. So if you want a chance to ambush the Cubs, now is that chance.
Yeah, you get into the bullpen and you think you got a chance for sure. But you just got to continue to take advantage of scoring opportunities. That's how you get into the bullpen. You score a run here, you score a run there early.
And Jose Trevino, a hot hitter at the plate at the moment. He's 0 for 3 or 0 for 2 in this game, lined out sharply to Bush his last time up. And Pomeranz starts him with a fastball at the knees. Lays off this breaking ball down there. Located the last one down there. Throws the breaking ball off the fastball at the knees. Didn't get the chase, and now it's even.
Yeah, it's really just 2 pitches for Drew Pomeranz. A 92 mile an hour heater. And then the curveball is a knuckle curveball. Trying to get a little more vertical drop on that ball than a traditional curveball.
Now Trevino will go into protection mode. That was a pretty hittable pitch there. Trevino got a fastball, outer half, but spoiled it. Big spot for the Reds right now, trying to reclaim the lead here in the 6th inning. The Bleday homer has tied it, but this could be 2. Swanson to Horner to Bush. The Reds settle for one on the J.J. Bleday home run in the 6th.
Well, it's been a bunch of home runs from these Reds. All solo.
Reds to enter. Julian Garcia came in, got the final out of the Cubs' 6th inning threat. Now he gets Pete Crow Armstrong leading off the 7th. Brand new ball game. They didn't expect to get a foul ball up there when they came to the ballpark today, but that was way up into the upper deck down the right field line.
That foul ball tell you anything about Pete Crow Armstrong's mindset right now? About 110 off the bat. Pulled almost over the first base dugout.
Yeah, he's looking to fillet one to left.
Exactly.
Yeah. Steal one pitch from Garcia. And he made him look silly.
Loaded up swing. Good pitch. Started off in the zone. That's a strike to a ball. Meaning that pitch starts in the zone as a strike. Understanding it is not going to end in the zone.
And then he blew him away. Reached back for a little extra. We don't see Garcia run it up into the mid-90s too often, but he did there.
Really good pitching. Good sequencing.
So there's one gone in the 7th. Seiya Suzuki takes a fastball for strike 1. Brock Burke, the left-hander, loosening in the Reds bullpen. In the Cubs bullpen, they have Caleb Thielbar getting loose. Suzuki lays off the breaking ball, and we're even. It was Seiya Suzuki that drove home the Cubs' first run, a 2-out single in the 5th that scored Miguel Amaya. And Pete Crow Armstrong was trying to score on that as well. But now Garcia behind him, 3-1. And he walked. Now he's got to deal with Alex Bregman, the 3-time All-Star, Silver Slugger Award winner. He's won a couple World Series. He's been an All-Star MVP. Trying to do some damage for the Cubs. And he starts him with a fastball for strike 1. Bregman, another guy kind of like Swanson. He's still finding a way to help this Cubs team, even though he's not hitting anywhere close to what the Cubs probably expected him to do when they signed him. And he launches it to left. Bleday giving chase. He's out of room, and the Cubs are back in front, 5-3. The 8th home run of the year for Alex Bregman. RBIs 36 and 37.
Well, you figure at some time, at some point, you're going to have your veteran players who have had success come up big in situations, and Bregman just sits there and watches that breaking ball break, stays patient, understanding he's not swinging the bat the way he's capable. But big-time stars come up in big-time situations. There you have it right there.
Carson Kelly takes upstairs. Well, you can't run away from the strike zone now if you're Garcia. First 2 pitches after the Bregman 2-run blast have both missed. Now it's 3-0. down the middle. Well, this is a Cubs team. They're right at their season average for runs. They average about 5 runs a game. You look up and down their lineup and realize there's a lot of guys that just are not hitting for their season average that you kind of expect from them, but they still figure out a way to score runs. And it's reasons like that.
It's also a Cincinnati Reds team that understands that this Cubs bullpen has been struggling. So let's just stop the scoring right here and give ourselves a chance to respond.
Far from out of it. I mean, the Cubs know firsthand a 2-run lead not safe right now. And a good job by Garcia to fight back. He gets the strikeout after falling behind on Kelly 3-0, and he got him with a breaking ball right at the top of the zone.
Yeah, really good pitch right here. You see a little bit of pause with Carson Kelly. Little buckle. Here comes Tito.
So that's it for Garcia. It'll be Brock Burke with the left-hander Michael Busch coming up, but the Cubs are up 2 thanks to the Alex break. Well, the left-hander's on to face the left-hander. 47th appearance for Brock Burke. He will tangle with Michael Busch. It's been a mixed bag for Busch tonight, and he's on for the 3rd time. His 3rd hit of the ball game. The one time he's been retired, it was a double play, but I'm sure the 3 hits will help him sleep tonight.
Yeah, lefty on lefty does not seem to bother Mike Busch at all. At least not tonight.
That's 3 times tonight that he has a hit off a left-hander. So Reds just haven't had an answer for him. There he goes. And it's a good throw, but not in time. 3rd stolen base of the year for Michael Busch. So not only does he have 3 hits off left-handed pitching, he now has a stolen base off a left-hander.
Well, we call that first move. As soon as Brock Burke picks up his arm to throw the ball to the plate, regardless if he goes to the plate or not, Michael Busch is moving as soon as he picks up.
The Reds are going to challenge this unless he came off the bag.
Cincinnati is challenging the safe call at second base.
I would say I didn't see anything there, but we didn't see anything either on that ball against the pad last night. So
that is true.
And then all of a sudden, fan interference.
Yep.
Came out of nowhere. I mean, there's the tag. Clearly the first foot is off, but the other look we had, it looked like he had already established the bag with the back foot by the time the front foot came off.
I'll give Edwin Arroyo all kind of credit because he definitely rides that runner Michael Busch with the tag, and that's exactly how you're told to do it. Once you put that tag on him, keep it on him.
Crowd obviously reacting, thinking that the foot was off the bag, but it's going to be tough. The good news is in New York they can sync the angles. We'll have to see. Could be a big play. Cubs have scored 2 in the 7th. They've taken the lead. All right, you be the judge. Okay.
I can't really tell from either one of those angles.
It's tough to tell. I mean, do I think his back foot is not to the bag yet? No, I don't think it's there yet. Front foot's off, but can you tell definitively that the back foot's not to the bag yet?
Not from that angle.
Roberto Ortiz had the call. Jim Wolf, the crew chief. It's very tough to tell.
Let's just hope it doesn't take as much time as that down the line yesterday. That might have been the longest challenge.
That's some time we're never getting back. The crowd here thinks that he came off and the back foot hadn't established. And I think there's a good chance that's the case. I just don't know that it's definitive enough to overturn it. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
You can't assume in a situation like this. You have to have the angle that shows definitively one way or another. And again, they've garnered a lot of observers there in the replay room in New York. Maybe this will help us decide. Yep, I think that one paints a pretty clear picture right there.
Yeah, it definitely looks
After
like.
review, the runner is call's overturned. The runner is out. Cincinnati for the
4 straight successful challenge by the Reds. Bush caught stealing and it comes.
Well, it's been a lot of home runs in this game. You see the 2-run home run just by Alex Bregman to put them up by 2. But it's been Lowe and Suarez and J.J. Bleday, all 3 solo home runs for all the scoring for the Reds.
And the part that is left out of that kind of flies under the radar, the opportunities that the Reds have had tonight that they have not cashed in on.
Yeah.
And there have been several. And I would include the 6th inning in that. Sure, they got the run on the home run by J.J. Bleday leading things off. But even after that, they got Nathaniel Lowe to reach on a base hit with 1 out. Suarez walked right behind him. And then the inning-ending double play off the bat of Jose Trevino. You go back to the 1st inning. They had 1st and 3rd, nobody out, came up empty. 1st and 2nd, nobody out in the 3rd, came up empty. 31st appearance for the left-hander Caleb Thielbar. But every inning's a fresh inning. You're only down by 2, and now it's time to exploit that Cubs bullpen. And this ball's headed toward the gap off the bat of Arroyo, but it hangs up for Ian Happ. Now TJ Friedel. A left on left matchup for TJ right now. Singled through the middle into 3rd. But when TJ's going good, that's the thing. It doesn't matter if the pitcher's left-handed or right-handed. This year he's just struggled to hit regardless. You look at the numbers for Caleb Thielbar this year, and they're not all that astonishing. But then you start to dig a little deeper and realize, well, on the road he's kind of a different pitcher. He has struggled tremendously at Wrigley. 1-1 now on TJ Friedel. But on the road he's been almost untouchable. Opponents are 6 for 42 against him. That's a 143 mark away from Wrigley Field.
And it's been with that 4-seam fastball.
Ripped past the first baseman Bush. 2nd hit of the night for TJ Friedel. And a couple of really nice swings. A bullet through the middle. This one rifled past Michael Bush.
Yeah, that was really good to see. Good hitting by TJ Friedel. Got himself a slider from Thielbar. Stayed right on it. As you mentioned, when he's going good, it doesn't make a difference if it's a lefty, because he stays right there. That's a good sign for TJ Friedel.
All right. Well, we haven't been able to say it until this year, but Ellie's up there hitting from his strong side now. Pretty good hook for strike 1 from Thielbar. Ellie does have a couple of hits tonight, both singles. Smoked one on a line to left center his last time up, but Pete Crow Armstrong somehow ran it down.
Yeah.
So he's had 3 good at bats so far tonight. And Thielbar buries it.
And breaking balls to Ellie De La Cruz, but I mentioned Thielbar. It's been a lot of that 4-seam fastball hitters this year. 8 for 44. That's just 182 batting average against his heater. I expected him to throw one right here.
Nope. Nope. Breaking ball, and Ellie fought it off. Kind of swung like he was looking for the heater too.
Oh yeah, that's Ellie De La Cruz hitting. That's what I used to say to Eric.
Oh, 2-0, he's throwing me a heater right here. Yeah, he's throwing you a heater. He's not throwing me a heater.
Highest OPS against left-handers. Got him with the heater there. Ellie chased it up and in. 2 gone in the 7th.
Yeah, that fastball is just 94 miles an hour, but look at the location. And a little cut on that fastball as well.
Looked like that had some pretty good finish.
It did.
Late life, the ride. So now it's up to Sal Stewart with Friedel at first and 2 away. 0-1. Pierce Johnson getting ready to pitch the 8th for the Reds. Big hole on the right side for Sal. Oh, he did. At least Alex McKay thought so, and it turns out he's the only opinion that matters. Yep, I think so. 0-2. Just got enough of it to stay alive. Still 0-2 on Sal Stewart. One on, 2 out. Reds trying to make a little noise here in the 7th inning, down by 2 to the Cubs late. A wave and the curveball, and Sal down on strikes. Thielbar with back-to-back strikeouts to close out the Reds' 7th inning. Cubs by 2.
We've been talking about draft day, guys. Well, Pierce Johnson was drafted twice. Out of high school, he was asleep, and his dad woke him up, didn't sign. But when he was the first-round pick by the Cubs 14 years ago, he said he was with some buddies at his apartment. How did he celebrate that night? He said, well, I was a broke college student, but I splurged and got some Culvers and a shake. And he said he loves that memory, and to this day, Culvers and a shake means something in the Johnson household.
I guess they didn't have the NIL money at that time.
No, not a lot of broke college players getting drafted these days.
Well, you're certainly not a broke college player anymore.
0-2 quickly on Nico Horner. Missouri State down there in Springfield, Missouri, where Pierce Johnson did his work. Jacob Webb getting ready in the Cubs bullpen for the bottom half of this inning. Pierce Johnson trying to keep it at a 2-run deficit. You look at what the Cubs have done, but first the numbers for Pierce Johnson on for the 30th time. On the ground, Ellie gliding to his left. Plenty of time for the first out, but when you look at the Reds getting a chance late in this game, and you talk about the Cubs bullpen and having a chance against their bullpen, the bullpen ERA for this Cubs team is up near 6 over the last 23 ball games. It's one of the worst bullpens in baseball over that stretch. The only teams with a worse bullpen over that span are the A's and Royals. They've blown 7 saves, so make no mistake about it. A 2-run lead. I doubt Craig Counsell feels real comfortable about it with the way things have been going lately.
Yep. And it certainly is who you play, but it's when you play.
Bingo. Oh, 0-1 on Ian Happ. 0-2. Really like what Pierce Johnson brings to the table. Fearless.
Yep.
Veteran presence.
Experience, absolutely. And when he came back from the IL, we saw 96, 97, and that hard rip curveball that he throws.
Goes back to that 96-mile-an-hour fastball. This is a familiar matchup, and Pierce Johnson's probably well aware of those numbers. Tried to get him to chase the fastball again. 97 this time. But now it's 2-2. Here he comes. Couldn't get him to go after the high fastball. See if he'll chase the curveball in the dirt. The answer is no to all three. So now it's a full count after he had him down to the count 0-2. Back to the top and too high. So after he had him down to the count 0-2, Ian Happ works a 1-out walk. Even when he walks, he's a thorn in the red side. Happ with the big double back in the 6th inning. 81st career walk against the Reds. Not particularly close. Johnson with a good move, but
yeah, I think he and Happ was loading up to try to steal a base and get a good jump. That was a good move. One disengagement.
Swanson's 0 for 3 tonight. Johnson goes to work against him. And he hits the outside corner. First pitch hook.
Situation like this right now, possible running position. I'm looking for a fastball out over the plate. Why? Because that's the pitch that the catcher likes to throw on.
Puts it down the left field line, foul.
Late in the ball game, you get a running possible situation. As me as a hitter, I would always look at, okay, if this, what pitch does this catcher want to throw down to second base? So I'm thinking something hard, and I'm thinking out over the plate. That happened to be a breaking ball up.
Happ not going, and it's high on the inside part of the plate. Now along those lines, so in this case, you're a right-handed batter. You're looking away, probably up.
Yep.
Are you thinking at the same? Well, I know who I'm talking to, so I think I know the answer. Are you thinking going the other way there too, because the right side's open?
Yeah, I'm thinking of just hitting the ball hard. I'm looking for a ball in the zone. I'm not thinking about trying to hit the ball to right field.
Okay.
I'm looking in the zone, and if I catch it out a little in front, I can hit it to left center field, right? Or I can drive it to right field, maybe hit a home run out to right field. But I'm looking more for the zone. It's not. Okay. It's not the result.
Boom.
The result is hitting the ball hard. But I'm thinking along with the pitcher. In this situation, the catcher wants a ball out where he can clear me and throw to second base like that right there.
Right, bingo.
Yep.
Now that was off the plate, but yeah, Swanson's probably looking out there, so you're going to get a better swing off even if the pitch is a little bit off the plate.
That is correct. And the ball does not have to be a strike in order for you to smash it. You just have to get your arms extended, hit it on the bat head.
And he lays off the breaking ball down and away. It's a good looking crowd tonight on a Saturday here at Great American Ballpark. Usually is when the Reds and Cubs lock horns. This ball's driven to the alley in left center, but Friedel has his sights on it. He'll give way to J.J. Bleday coming over from left, and 2 men are out in the 8th. He didn't miss it by much.
No, he did not.
And you look at where the pitch was and you understand why.
Yep. Pretty much middle, little bit out. That is arm extended territory.
Goes back to what you're talking about. If you're looking away and you get a pitch in that spot and you get your A swing off,
right,
you're probably doing some damage with that pitch.
He just missed it. He hit it.
Miguel Amaya takes ball 1 high. He scored the first Cub run back in the 5th. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Right at TJ Friedel. Routine. He's under it. He's got it. And it's still a 2-run Cub lead. See if the Reds have a late comeback in him. J.J. Bleday's already gone deep once. He's done it before. The Reds are down 2. J.J. Bleday will lead it off for the Reds in the 8th. He homered back in the 6th. Here's a look at it. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud.
J.J. Bleday, the 3rd home run of the day. Another solo shot. Swinging the bat well again.
The trajectory of that was a little different than Ellie's home run last night.
Yes, it was.
That was more in the category of high and majestic.
Lofted. Ellie's not so much.
A little more hang time.
Yes.
Jacob Webb. He does have 4 saves this year. The Cubs are just kind of mixing and matching late in games right now without their closer. So how will Craig Counsell handle this? Will he try to get 6 outs from Jacob Webb? Does he stay with the hot hand if things are going well?
Jacob Webb is pitching well. He had 7 straight scoreless outings. So you mentioned that this Cub bullpen is kind of in shambles, so I think it is about going with the hot hand.
Bleday, another drive deep to right. Suzuki's back, but just shy of the wall. He's got it. And that was a pitch that was away from him.
Yeah, just a little bit out in front. It's a good swing, but you can see right off the end of the bat.
Well, he didn't
half
miss
an
it.
inch or so. That ball's up in the seats.
Didn't miss it by much at all. Flirting with his 2nd multi-home run game of the year. Now Spencer Steer, who's been going better lately, but not tonight. 0 for 3. He has hits in 6 of his last 7 coming into play tonight. 391 over those 7 games, coming off a 3-hit game last night. But still looking for his first knock tonight. Watches the fastball this high. Reds have out-hit the Cubs tonight, 10-9. They just haven't been able to hit when they've had men in scoring position in this game. Two and 1 now on Steer. The Reds haven't had a ton of RBI opportunities, but they are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far. And now Steer way ahead of the count. Webb bearing the changeup to fall behind 3-1. Lowe's already gone deep tonight. He's waiting on deck. And after the fastball away. It was borderline, but now it's a full count. We've got a very favorable right-left matchup waiting on deck. And Steer needs a new bat. Let's hear from UDF.
Every summer, we make peach ice cream with big chunks of peaches at our dairy. And every summer, it's gone, just like that. So grab some peach before the summer's over.
Steer back with a new piece of lumber. Full count, bases empty, 1 out. The Reds are down 2, needing a base runner. And he just got enough of it to redirect it so Amaya couldn't handle it. Steer fortunate to get a second chance. Steer staying alive. The swings just don't look quite as good from Steer tonight as they did last night.
I tell you, I'm a big Spencer Steer fan, and I truly believe that when I look at the board and I see 244, I see a much better hitter than those numbers would indicate.
Toward the corner, but this will slice off into the seats.
And during his hot streak, we did see a lot of balls that he did drive to right center field. I think typically he drives the ball to center field, to left field. But when I think he is at his best, he's driving that ball to right center field. When he does that, he lets the ball travel.
He yanks this one down the left field line. But again, that's your point. You're looking center, right center, so you can be ready for the off speed.
Looking center, right center, so you could stay square to the plate on regardless of if he throws you a fastball or a breaking ball. And the key is to stay square to the plate, because once you start drifting towards left field, you lose the outside part of the plate. Good at bat right there.
He worked the walk.
And so you tell yourself to orient yourself towards right center field. Not that you're trying to push the ball to right center field, but you want to make sure that your hips and everything stays square to the plate, so that when you explode on a pitch that happens to be on the inside part of the plate, you don't pull it foul down the left field line.
Right. And a wave at the changeup right at the bottom of the zone.
And the big fella, Nate Lowe, got a cutter up in his eyes, and it had been a while since he's gone deep. We could take another one right here, though.
Oh, yeah. They don't limit how many you can hit in a game in this sport.
That's right. I mean, 6 players with 10 plus. Just spread the love.
Hasn't happened a whole lot in Reds history. 1-1 on Lowe. He goes the other way this time, drives it deep, but foul. Lowe just 1 for 3 against Jacob Webb. And I know what you're thinking. No, it wasn't a homer.
Take a nice little base hit. Let Gino go deep for his second time today.
Popped it up by first. Bush now over in the first base coach's box. Will handle it for the second out. Suarez also with one of the Reds' 3 home runs tonight.
Yeah, Gino getting this ball deep. This was against Assad, who does not go exceptionally hard. So Gino just making sure that he stayed on that breaking ball, allowed that fastball to back up, and just powered it out to right center field.
For Suarez, he's been on base all 3 times he's come up. The hit, the homer. He walked his last time up. Represents the tying run with 2 outs in the 8th. Didn't want to, but now he's down 0-2. Tried to get him to chase there, but Suarez lays off the slider. Steer reached with 1 out on the walk. It's 1-2 on Suarez, and he is caught looking. The Reds unable to cash in on Steer's 1 out walk and Fox. It's now TJ Antone taking over.
And I tell you, I know it's about competitiveness with TJ Antone.
Pete Crow Armstrong with a weak bouncer to Sal for the first out.
But every time I see him out on the mound, especially in these high leverage situations, I just think, man, good for him. All that he's been through. And I know, we've talked about it multiple times, but
yeah, but
seeing him be able to bounce back night after night after night.
It was a fun story just when he got to the big leagues. All right, it was a good, feel-good story. But now that he's here, he's becoming a key part of this Reds bullpen, and I think that's what makes it even more incredible.
Yeah.
Because he's had to reinvent himself. He's not the same pitcher he was when he was throwing 100 miles an hour.
No, but I'm seeing 96 out of his.
Yeah, he can still run it up there from time to time. Just missed off the inside corner, but Trevino didn't think so. And Craig Counsell saying, hey, that was a little delayed.
The previous pitch was called a ball. The catcher has challenged.
Dan Merzel didn't seem to like what he heard. It is a strike.
The pitch was a strike. The count is 1-1. Cincinnati has 2 remaining challenges.
Pretty good pitch from TJ Antone right there. 1-1. Another good breaking ball, and he snaps it off over the inside corner to Suzuki, and he's got him down 1-2. Looking ahead to the Reds' 9th inning, if Antone can keep it a 2-run game, it's the bottom part of the order. Trevino, Arroyo, and Friedel. The Cubs have the left-hander Ryan Rollison in their bullpen, and Trevino wants another look.
The previous pitch was called a ball. The catcher has challenged.
So let's see. ABS powered by T-Mobile says strike 3.
The pitch was a strike. It is strike 3. Cincinnati has 2 remaining challenges.
So now 2 down for Alex Bregman.
Yeah, last time up, Bregman got that breaking ball from Julian Garcia. And it's been a struggle offensively for him, but when the lights are brightest, it's when you expect your stars to step up.
That's our Allstate Good Hands replay. Unfortunately, it's that home run from Bregman. Two-0. In the air toward the line, Ellie out. And Ellie, wow! Are you kidding? He might be the only shortstop in the game.
That guy can cover some ground. He makes plays that I don't know how he does it. Dios te bendiga con una habilidad increíble. God bless that man with some incredible.
Off the bench to try to ignite a Reds 9th inning rally, hitting for Jose Trevino. Will be doing so against the left-hander Ryan Rollison. Rollison just looking for his 2nd major league save. He's pitched well. As I mentioned, Craig Counsell just kind of having to mix and match with a thin bullpen right now. Last save opportunity, he blew it, and Tyler Stevenson wastes no time. And the Reds will bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th after the leadoff base hit. That of the pinch hit variety for Tyler Stevenson.
Well, Steve-O has been hitting the ball much better as of late, and that's really his MO. Heaters down and away, driving them to right center field and pulling the breaking ball. Not wasting any time jumping on the heater. Good start to the inning.
Last outing for Rollison, he took the loss. He blew the save. That was against Baltimore. You think that's not weighing on his mind right now as he fires in strike one to Edwin Arroyo? In the dirt, Stevenson darts for second. That erases the possibility of the double play. Or maybe I should say that reduces the likelihood of the double play. It'll be a wild pitch.
It's a little bit different pitching in that ninth inning, trying to nail down a game.
And he leaves the breaking ball up. You look at Rolison, and he hasn't completed 3 outs, a full inning in his last 5 outings. And he's given up 4 earned runs over that stretch, and already the Cubs go to work with Trent Thornton in their bullpen. Arroyo drives it toward the gap in right center. It's deep, but run down by Suzuki. Stevenson will tag and move up 90 feet. Boy, Arroyo probably feeling like there's about 4 outfielders, maybe 5, because that ball was well struck toward the gap, but Suzuki closed quickly.
Yeah, that was probably the best ball he's hit so far here at the big league level. He smacks this ball. It's 100 off the bat. So unfortunately, just a little bit of a tail allows that right fielder to catch up to it.
And now Tommy Hotovy, the Cub pitching coach, out to go over a scouting report right now with Rolison about how they want to attack Noelvi Marte, because Marte's off the bench to hit for TJ Friedl. But going back to what I was talking about, you look at Rolison. His last 5 games, he's given up 4 runs on 6 hits. You see the numbers overall for Rolison this year, and you think, wow, he's throwing the ball pretty well. But then you take a little deeper dive into what he's been doing lately, and it just hasn't gone all that well for him, and he's fresh off a blown save. And now Marte off the bench. His home runs have all come at good times. They've either tied the game or given the Reds the lead. Strike one. Marte 1 for 2 pinch hitting, including a home run that gets away from the catcher, but with Stevenson running at third, it might need to go to the dugouts to score him, especially in a 2-run game. One and one on Noelvi Marte. Two and one.
Good take right there. Good take.
Cubs play the outfield straight away against Marte. Rolison behind the count against a dangerous hitter in Marte. And an even more dangerous hitter waiting next. Didn't want to, did he? Ooh. Alex McKay says he went. He hears it from the Reds dugout. You be the judge. Yeah, probably so. Close. It's 2-2 though. Marte still alive. Rolison. And the catcher Amaya holds on for strike 3.
It's a challenge fastball, 95 or 96 miles an hour at the top of the zone.
Well, how about some theatrics? Reds fans and Cubs fans alike start to come to their feet with Ellie up representing the tying run. And he's up there right-handed. This has been his strong side this year.
And you cannot pitch around Ellie right here. You got Sal Stewart, who has been on absolute fire this entire season. So I would expect there's some challenge here to Ellie.
Fouls it off.
And last night he showed a little bit of why you might not want to pitch to him hitting right-handed this year. He has been really, really good. Last night took a fast from Imanaga and hit it out of here. Wouldn't be too upset to see that swing on another fastball right here.
And he lays off the curveball in the dirt. He has hit for a better average, .330, and he has 8 of his 15 home runs right-handed. And it's 3-1 on De La Cruz, and you know that Rollison and definitely his manager don't want to see Ellie representing the tying run at first base, with Sal Stewart coming up next. Little anxious over there in that third base dugout. 3-1 on De La Cruz. He walked him. So now it's the all-star rookie. But he will not get the left-hander. Rollison's night is done. Craig Counsell going to the mound. He's got a new pitcher coming in. First and third, 2 out in a 2-run game in the bottom of the 9th inning. Sal Stewart coming to the plate with a chance to be the hero.
RBIs prior to the All-Star break. Albert Pujols and the Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. Pretty good company to be associated with.
So here's your runners. Tyler Stevenson's over at third. It's Ellie over at first. And one in the gap, you better believe, will score Ellie from first base.
Thinking Ellie's going to try to get to second base right now.
Strike one. Trent Thornton trying to nail it down with 1 out. He does have a couple of saves in both tries. Ellie's been picked off once. There he goes. A wave and a miss and no throw, but Sal down 0-2. Ellie into scoring position.
First pitch cutter, second sweeper.
The Reds are 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight. All is forgotten with a base hit here from Sal. The 0-2. Right back up the middle, softly hit off the end of the bat. Warner waits back, and the Cubs hang on. That's all. Reds fall 5-3 tonight to the Cubs. Chicago evens the series at a game apiece.
Well, I'll tell you, there was some offense from the Reds. Obviously, the 3 solo home runs to put 3 scores on the board. However, there was yet again missed opportunities, including this inning right here. Lead runners getting on base and just can't seem to get them in. It happened a few times in the game. Lodolo once again another blister issue. Unfortunate.
It's a tough one.